Hey there, I'm Mark Comerico, the Colorado rep for Faswall Block, and we're here with Jack Clark, the homeowner who's just completed a Faswall home and moved in last August, going over heating systems and specifics. But we're outside admiring the exterior finish.
Some people don't know about some of the winds that we get in this state. And in this part of the state, which is the northern portion, we're only about 40 miles south of Wyoming and Cheyenne. Horse Tooth Mountain, which is up in the back here, has some of the highest recorded winds in the state and in reality in the country. We typically, not typically, but certainly a lot, can see over 100-mile-an-hour winds coming right down through this notch up here. More so in the winter than the summer, but both seasons. Kind of construction with basically concrete walls and rebar. When we're inside this house, and we've had a number of these storms and heavy winds since we moved in, you literally cannot hear the wind in the house, literally, and you don't feel any of the buffeting, which is just an amazing situation. And, people talk about the general quietness of the house because of the block, but even with pounding winds, you get nothing. And needless to say, with the windows and the construction, we have no drafts in this house at all, which is kind of neat because you walk up to a door even, and there's nothing happening. Instead of running the full 60,000 BTUs that this was sized to for this house, we can run down to about 30% throttle, which is 30% of that 60,000, which is what, 18,000 BTU.
And we should note too, this is a 3,300 square foot home, which usually would have
About a little under 100,000 BTU furnace in it. So when the engineer and I went through this, we were able to calculate the very low heat loss of the house such that we could size it down to a 60,000 BTU furnace, which obviously is the initial cost is less for the furnace, but also our running costs are much less.
One of the things about Jack and Carol's home that grabbed you immediately is the view. They've oriented the house in such a way that it's a dead shot into Fort Collins, or at least over the reservoir. I'll let Jack explain more, but there was a conscientious choice made about the type of window and the performance that they get from these windows, so that you're not only inside this beautiful living room area, but you're also getting tremendous energy efficiency from these windows.
In Colorado, there's, as you know, quite a bit of temperature change day to night, and then of course season to season. And with the Faswall system, we've taken care of the heat loss of the building very nicely. R60 roof complete, and but of course then you have the glass. And so we investigated the window suppliers thoroughly, and there is a local company that builds them here. Of course, they don't make the glass, but they assemble it completely. And it's very nice because within 1,500 vertical feet of their plant, you get a full warranty lifetime replacement on these windows because they're guaranteed not to leak if you're within that altitude. The bedroom and the living room both have a southern exposure. So those are the two rooms that heat the house during the day. And our furnace does not run during the day in Colorado. Even with low ambient light, we still get a certain amount of warming, which is really pretty cool.
And even on those 0-degree days, you had a minimal amount of mechanical running during the day. It was during the night. Have I got that right?
Yeah, in the 0-degree days, the furnace would run. But as you saw in our earlier clip, the hours that it had to run on that propane at 0 degrees was very minimal. I don't know the exact number of hours per night, but if we actually shut it off at night, it only dropped about 5 degrees in the house. Now, we only set back 2 degrees for night, and the only reason we do that is just for comfort of sleep. We normally run the house at 70 during the day and then set back at 68. I wanted to maintain that thermal mass during the night, the heat from that, so we keep it at 68. But again, in that weather, it would only drop another 2 or 3 degrees all night. On days like this, where we'll get up to 60 during the day And as you may know, Colorado, we get 30-degree day to night shifts typically. The furnace will not run tonight. It will drop maybe a degree, maybe 2 degrees on a day like this.
That's awesome.
And it's amazing. Yeah, I don't know of any other construction that can claim that, or at least it's been documented.
Yeah.
And that was part of the reason to use this system was it's pretty cool. Being an engineer, you know, and this is my wife's and I last house, we really wanted to do some pretty neat stuff. And this will be passed on to our son and obviously pass that. So we're very careful with the window selection, but the construction, one, the rigidity of it, the ease of assembly was very important, you know. But then, of course, this whole thermal mass idea and being able to, I did actually check with the furnace manufacturers when we got your specifications on the heat loss of the block and all that, and it was obvious to use it. It was just a no-brainer, really.